Everyone. Today I'm going to record this quick demonstration session for the mobile use case. So this is to demonstrate how Couchbase Capella works alongside a Couchbase Lite and with the app services, aka Sync Gateway, on a Android application on the right, as you can see here. So I have took the liberty to quickly spin up the cluster along with the app service over here. Okay, and to create a cluster, I think there's nothing much to be said. So you to create a cluster, click on the top right button earlier. You can choose the cloud provider. We have AWS or Google Cloud. Along with that, we also have the available regions for you to choose from. If you're in Asia Pacific, you would like to take a look at these current few regions at the moment. Choose your CEDAR block. Along with that, you can have the configurations as well, which over here, they will start off with a data configuration. So just note that for this mobile demo use case, minimally, you will need the index and query service as well for the mobile app service to even work, okay, to even create the app service itself. Yeah, so the plan will also stick with Developer Pro. Okay, you can upgrade to Enterprise anytime you want. Along with that, you have the same. You can choose the availability zones. I will choose multiple availability zones, and with that, I can select the different projects as well, along with naming the cluster name. But since I have already created the cluster here, I'm just going to go in and show everyone what's happening. So the configurations, as you can see here, is a Developer Pro configuration, and you should be able to see the data, index, and query services as well, minimum. And of course, finally, the bucket. I created a bucket earlier, the users bucket, but creating a bucket is very simple. So I can just quickly create a test bucket. I can state the memory I need per server per node, okay? And of course, backup, whether I can set a weekly schedule, daily schedule, or no schedule, which is of course not recommended, right? And finally, the settings, any other settings, okay, for conflict resolution, right? Whether you want it to be based on timestamp, or you want it to be based on the sequence number of how is it modified, right? So this is something you can even set it here in the bucket, right? So this might be a question coming from you, that if there are 100 users editing the same document, how will I conflict resolution? How do I solve the conflict, right? And this is how you can solve it, by choosing whether you can go through timestamp or sequence number. Of course, you can learn more via the link here. And the durability level as well, you can choose accordingly, right? And of course, number of replicas. For 3 nodes, we'll have 1 replica, okay? And flush, whether you want to enable or disable, time to live, this time to live means to simply set a time limit before automatically deleting the data, okay, that exists within this bucket. So since I've created a bucket here already, there are 0 documents at the moment, as you can see here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to app service, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to create an endpoint. But before creating an endpoint within this app service, I also have to show you how to create an app service, right? So to create an app service, you can just simply type in whatever app service name you want, okay? And you can select cluster, okay, that you have created for this app service, okay? For me, it was this TDG mobile demo, right? Along with that, deployment configurations, you can set the number of nodes you want, along with the compute, okay, for these nodes, right? So, and finally, let me just go into app service. You should be able to see this configuration stated earlier by me over here, okay? I use the default. You can have allowed IPs. This is self-explanatory for security reasons. You can monitor the app service as well, right? And now I'm just going to quickly create an app endpoint over here. And I'm just going to name this user profile. Oops. User profile. And now they will ask me to select a bucket for my app endpoint. And I'm just going to select user, which I've created earlier, the bucket with 0 documents. And for the authentication provider, right now, I'm just going to stick with the default basic authentication, Delta Sync, and of course, import. I'm just going to leave all the defaults there, right? You can read more about the documentations in the Capella UI, right, over here, if you wish to. And finally, I'm going to create the app endpoint. So after creating the app endpoint, as you can see, status will always be offline first. So why we want to have it offline first is because we want to have the developer or the user to have to set the access controls or authentication provider to set all configurations in place first before turning it online for the public to use, right? So with that being said, I'm just going to quickly add a certain access control that I have put in place. Within this access control tab, as you can see here, is a word editor. I can either program it via this word editor here, or I can pre-program it and import it from file, which I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to put this sync function.js file. As you can see, I have a quick Node.js code. Everything here will be written in JS. Okay, so you can further read about the documentation over here. It's a JavaScript function, as you can see, JavaScript. So I'm just going to hit save. You will see a pop-up appearing, and just click hit OK. And finally, let me just go through the tabs while we are at it, right? Go over to app users. You'll see that I can't do anything to the endpoint right now because it is offline. So I cannot even create an app user, right? App roles as well. So I'm just going to hit this resume app endpoint, and it'll turn it online soon. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it took a while. It's now online, right? So after it turned online, I can create an app user. I'm able to also create application roles if I wish to, right? I can change my authentication. I can, of course, see the public connection. I can monitor my app service. I can do further configurations if I want to. So with just for demonstration's sake, right, I'm just going to keep everything as per default. I'm just going to create an app user. My app user will be demo@example.com. Okay, my password will be PW12345 exclamation mark. Status, I'll keep it as enabled because it should be an active user. All right. And channels is like a tag where you can further segment certain that this user can only see a certain kind of document, right? It's another form of access control, and you can learn more about it via the documentations on the Couchbase website. Along with that, we also can assign the app roles, which I might or might not have declared here. Okay, so since I have not created any app roles, I'm just going to create the demo user. Okay, as you can see, the demo at example.com user has been created within my endpoint. And of course, before, of course, I would like to go over to the connection, and I want to get this public connection URL, this endpoint itself. I'm going to take everything with the port except for this / user profile and paste it within my Android Studio on my right. Okay, and just to verify that I have truly created this user, right? Let's head back to the cluster. Within this cluster, you will be able to see that, hey, I have 17 documents now from 0. And within this bucket, let me just change the limit. You'll be able to see all this documents created. And finally, the last one you see, sync user demo@example.com. So over here, you're able to see that, hey, demo@example.com is created. And of course, password has been encrypted as well. So this is to verify that indeed my user has been created and has been synced to the bucket. Okay, so now I'm connecting to this endpoint. I'm just going to make sure I wiped all my data from my devices, because just for demonstration's sake. And finally, I'm just going to head into the app. This will launch my app in a bit. It will take some time. Okay, my app is up right now. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to log in using this demo@example.com with the password I created earlier. Okay, upon hitting sign in, I'm able to see that this user profile pane is there. And what I'm going to do here is that I'm just going to hit enter some details here, the name and address. I'm going to hit save. So upon hitting save, as I have internet connection over here, you will be able to see that a new document will be created. Okay, and this document will have the details that I've inputted within these few text boxes. So I'm just going to change. I'm just going to input Leroy online, and my address, I'm just going to put Singapore. Okay, just simple two fields. I'm just going to hit save and successfully updated profile. And you should be able to see a user demo@example.com here within seconds. You can see that user demo@example.com document has been created with the latest information that I've included after hitting save, before hitting save, and you can see that Leroy Online, Singapore. So let me just show you, that I can edit a document within the bucket, and it should sync back to my application as well, because I have an internet connection. So imagine I want to further expand on my address, right? Singapore is too general. I'm just going to put Singapore, Pasir Ris. Upon hitting save on this document, you should be able to see it appearing in my app immediately. As you can see here, Singapore, Pasir Ris. Okay, and my document, of course, has been updated. Yeah, so this is a bi-directional sync functionality that I'm demonstrating to everyone right now. So the next functionality or feature that I would like to demonstrate, it's the offline capabilities, right? The offline capabilities is something that is unique, or would I say Couchbase is the leader in that, and this app should work, okay, while there is no internet connection. It should still function, and once it has internet connection again, the data that has been changed within the app will synchronize back. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the airplane mode on now. As you can see here, airplane mode is on. There is no internet connection. Yeah, so I'm going to log out, okay, from this app and re-sign in using demo@example.com. As you can see, the details that I have included earlier, Leroy Online, Singapore, Pasir Ris, is still there. Okay, so the app can still work. One more thing is that we have the Couchbase Lite, okay, database, would I say a light format of a Couchbase database installed within this app. We preloaded it with certain static content, which doesn't really change that often. In this case, university. So I'm just going to demonstrate that even without internet connection, I'm still able to select my university. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to quickly look up for my just a random university in Singapore, National University of Singapore. Okay, I'm just going to select this. So we have preloaded, as you can see, I'm just going to show again. So we have preloaded a set number of universities based on the list that a zip file that I've included in this Android Studio file, and I'm just going to select National University of Singapore. Okay, I'm also going to change this to offline, Leroy offline. But I'm also going to change my address to Thailand. Okay, Thailand, Bangkok. Now, notice that I still do not have internet connection. So when I hit save, this data will be stored into the Couchbase Lite database in the backend, right? The moment I have internet, this data will be synchronized back to Capella. Okay, so I'm going to hit save now. So I'm not going to hit save anymore. Okay, I'm going to turn this internet connection back on. I have 3G now, or Wi-Fi, right? So over here, you see that suddenly my document changed, right? In a few seconds, once I have internet. And you can see that Leroy offline name is there. My address has updated along with my university, National University of Singapore. So I have this data updated the moment the internet connection has been resumed. And my application can still work in the background while there is no internet at all. So thank you so much for everyone's time. So this is a quick demonstration of the Couchbase mobile capabilities. Thank you all.